Belt of truth.
Okay, so tell me, what do you have on at all times?
Footgear, ready to spread the gospel. Shield, breastplate of righteousness, and the belt of truth.
So why would you keep those three on? Because they're easy to sleep in?
You can sleep in them. You can't sleep with your sword and your shield. You have it next to you and your helmet next to you. So if you have to go into battle, helmet on, sword and shield, and you're straight in.
So you wouldn't take your shoes off in the bush. You wouldn't take your belt off because you'd have your pants down. So you wear your proverbial pants. Yeah. And you've got your righteousness.
Chest plate on.
Yeah, chest plate on to cover your vital organs.
Yeah.
And so also that's your righteousness.
Yeah. And that's the minimum you need, because everything else you can just bang on. If you've got to put your sandals on and lace them up, and put your breastplate on and lace it up, and find your belt.
Like your jacket. So you keep your jacket on.
The enemy's already there. You've got your sword and your shield and you've got nothing else. So you have all that on, so you just grab your sword and your shield. You just have to grab them. Put your helmet on, sword and shield, and you're ready.
So can you give me an example of when you were sleeping, when you were in the bush and when you were in that kind of gear, and where you had to get up in a hurry? Were there occasions that you had to do that?
Yeah, we always took our boots off, but we were not in a position where, if we were in a dodgy place, we slept with our boots underneath.
Full gear.
Full gear. We just had our rifle and our webbing next to us. So if there's a problem, webbing on, rifle ready.
So your webbing is your hat?
Webbing is your belt with your magazines and all your.
So it's your ammo jacket.
Yeah.
So what did you wear on your head?
Nothing.
Nothing to protect your head. So in order to be camouflaged.
If we wore something on our head, it would be a silhouette. So we'd have a scarf that broke the silhouette of the shape of our head.
Yeah.
So in counterinsurgency, we wore a scarf around our head. We were blackened out to break the silhouette and the face and the shine. And that was on all the time.
And so were you surprised many times when you slept in your battle gear and then you had to get up?
I never got surprised by the enemy, personally. We did have enemy come close by, but they didn't know we were there. So it's not conventional battle. We were in a counterinsurgency guerrilla warfare battle, which is the strategies are different.
Okay.
Just to give you an example, what we used to do is when we knew we were going to sleep, no matter what we did, where we were, this was like God's rules. We'd walk along the bush and we'd look to where we wanted to sleep. And then we'd walk past the area and we'd stop at last lights and have our last cup of tea, because you can't drink water because you get thirsty. You've got to have hot. So we'd have our brew at last light. We'd pack up. Then at last light, when it got dark, we'd all get up and we'd walk in a dog's leg and come back just above our tracks. One by one, you'd take your sleeping bag out, lay it out. The next guy would take a sleeping bag out, lay it out. The next guy would take a sleeping bag out, lay it out. The fourth guy would take a sleeping bag out and lay it out.
Side by side.
Arm's distance. We'd then sit down, backpack, and webbing was our pillow, rifle was next to us, and that was it. We went to sleep like that. And we always chose rocky ground, lots of grass, lots of whatever, a little bit high. So if anybody was tracking us, they'd make a noise and we'd wake up and we could tap everybody.
And you had the advantage being on the higher ground.
or the higher ground over our tracks, and we'd be in the vantage that we'd be sitting ambushing our tracks. So if they were tracking us, they'd have to walk past us.
Yeah. Smart.
So we always did it. That was just every single night we did that. And then before the sun rose, one by one, we'd be up, roll up a sleeping bag into our backpack, one by one, 3 listening, 1 rolling up. And then as the light broke, we'd walk to another position, higher ground or away from where we were, still watching our tracks, and we'd sit there for half an hour and just have a tea, one by one, just boil our tea on a little gas burner, quiet as mice, not saying a word, watching our tracks, and then we'd move off.
So having that attitude of being prepared and keeping vigilant,
Absolute vigilance.
with your routine and how you conducted that, taking off some of your battle gear but leaving most of it on.
You're always fully dressed.
Yeah. So have you learnt things from there that you can carry over into your walk as a Christian, and your walk as somebody who knows that we're still on guard for the enemy?
So spiritual warfare is. I've thought about intimacy. I did think about our dog's leg, but I never took it further. You stimulating me to think more about that. So intimacy was in the bush, quiet, your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, your sight, everything just increases, just being there, just being intimate in the bush. Vigilant is continually vigilant.
It's like the watchman.
Intimacy is reading the word. The goose leg is watching your tracks, watching what the devil can come and steal behind you. So that'll be good from a point of view of what he's coming behind you to steal from you, and you're watching your back, and you're ready at any time with the sword of the Lord's word, the shield of faith, and the helmet of salvation. So we have salvation. We are declared innocent. We have the word of God, and we have the shield to deflect the fiery darts of the enemy.
Yeah.
When he throws darts at us and accuses us, we can deflect them with the shield.
Yeah. And the other thing about the helmet too is that we're working that one out. That's for all of us. That's the journey, working out our salvation. It's
But we're working on our salvation, but we know we have it.
We know we have it, but again, there are different degrees. Or
I think salvation, we are saved, but now we need to grow in that salvation.
Yeah, and maturity and.
Grow in so we are saved, but we need to grow and mature in that.
No longer on milk, but now on solids.
Solid food.
Yeah. All right, honey. Well, thanks for sharing that.